Hi, how are you everyone? I hope you are well and blessed. Okay, this is part one of a message God gave me on 25th of April of this year 2024. And he began to speak to me on around 5:45 p.m. And he usually speaks through me in prophetic utterances. He speaks through me and I write it down or I record it. But these are his words. So he began by explaining, talking to me about you, but angel. So I began to hear his name in the spirit. Sometimes I will hear somebody's name or I see his face, and then he will speak. So I have to wait for when he will speak, when he'll nudge me to speak, and then I speak what he's saying. Sometimes I might be alone, or sometimes I'm with other people, and we are waiting on God, and he speaks. So this is what he said about you, but angel. So he said, do you know that this is my remnant son? I am going to use him in these end times, in the move of God, but I want to deal with him in issues like pride and self-importance because I have important work for him yet to do. I will use him in this harvest, great harvest, and also in bringing the revival to South Africa and other nations. I still have work for him to do, but I will bring him down completely in order to use him again. As I have told you before, such is the path of those who have to be used in these end times. Everyone will have to die to self and let go of everything in order to enter into the kingdom era and do ministry. And then he began to share about his wife. I don't know her name, but he says, Hubert Angel's wife has gone through a lot of things. And God will minister to her and cover her with love because he has to use her in very many things, in very many areas as a remnant also. She has passed through, she's passing through and has passed through sanctification process. And that's why her life has, she has gone through some difficult things in her life. And he said, just like all remnants that have had to pass through in one way or another, through hard and difficult things in the sanctification process, it should not surprise you that people like her have been through a lot in their journey so far. And this one I'm explaining for all remnants. Every remnant that is going to be used of God, he calls us the Joseph generation. And just like how Joseph had to be cut off from family, from his town, he had to be cut off from anything that is familiar to him in order to be pushed into his future. So a lot of remnants have had to be cut off from a lot of things because Jesus told us Jesus has told us time and time again that he did not come to bring peace, but he came with a sword to separate people, to separate a mother and her daughter, to separate a father and a son. In the scriptures, that's what it says. So this process of sanctification is to cut off things, to cut off people from your life, to cut off even sometimes even it's wealth or whatever it is that you're holding on to. He has to cut you off from so many things before he can use you. He has to bring you. He keeps telling us he can bring you down. He has to bring you down to zero before he can start you off. Then I began to speak the name of Benihin. Benihin, Benihin. And then God continues, Benihin is going to die. He has lost his way. You have heard TD Jakes is going to die so many times. It's true. His death is about to be recorded as one of the astounding deaths in the Christian circles because he will die with a lot of scandals. He will die. His name will be smudged everywhere because he is known everywhere in the world. His name will be messed up all over. There are so many people you have listened to all your life, over and over, in so many years. Joyce Meyer, Joel Austin, Creflo Dollar, Jesse Duplantis. And then he says, I'm not leaving him out. I'm not leaving out Jesse Duplantis. And I think it was for me because I like this guy. I've listened to him over the years. And to me, it was sounding, over the years, it sounded very genuine and full of revelations from God. But then God continues, people who started well and end badly, that's a lot of them. And if he's one of them, that is about Jesse Duplantis, and if he's one of them that will end well, that will end badly, then Kenneth Copeland has the worst death to come. He has the worst death to come of these prosperity preachers because right now he is deceiving so many people. He has already lost it. He has already lost it. He's already gone. There is no salvageable thing in him. I have already judged him unto death. I have already judged him unto death. There is nothing that he did before that will be remembered or recounted up to him, unto him. For righteousness, because, okay, let me read that again. I've already judged him unto death. There is nothing that he did before that will be counted unto him for righteousness, because he has wiped it. He has wiped it off by his last deeds. And it's sad because somebody did such good deeds and they will not be, and these deeds will not be counted to him for righteousness. And then he continues and says, there are a lot of young preachers who are already known right now globally, who are already judged by God by the things that they are doing worldwide. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to stand before your God and say, but we did these things in your name. We did. We preached. We removed demons. We healed the sick. We prophesied in your name. We did such things. We fed the poor. And yet, Yeshua, that is Jesus, will say, away from me, you evildoers, because they did not seek me. They sought the things and the deeds they were doing to give them recognition, to give them power. It's sad. God says it's sad. I want them. I want so many and so much. I want them of the roads that they were taking, that were removing them from my path, from my way. I want so many, but they did not hear. And look, they have dug their holes. They have dug their graves. So many of them are coming to die. And this part is about the church as a whole, global church. He says the whole church will be shocked, just like the way the governments and the world will come to a standstill. The church will also come to a standstill because people do not understand. They are not believing judgment is here. So the church itself will come to a standstill because people will not understand what they are seeing, what they are hearing about their men of God, about their leaders, and they'll feel so foolish. Some of them will feel so foolish and deceived that they followed these men, that they followed these people. Even women of God are not being left behind. And the Lord continues, so many of these men and women of God are not going to my rest. So many of them are not coming to my rest. So many of them are not coming to my rest. He kept repeating that. They have dug their graves, but at the same time, I'm going to humble so many of them. So he was talking of the ones he's going to humble are the ones that are not going to die, because he still has work for them, like Hubert Angel and others. He still has work for them in the end times. So he has to deal with them, to deal with maybe arrogance, they have their pride, because a lot of them are in it for titles and power and money. So he's going to deal with them before he's going to humble them and bring them down to zero before he can use them again, because he has to deal with their pride. Because in these end times, nobody will be used who is proudful. God has to glorify his name, and pride cannot glorify the name of the Lord, because pride pushes somebody to be recognized by other people, and yet you are competing with God. God is the one to be glorified, not man, not you. So he's going to humble a lot of people, and they have to die to self in order to rise again to be used by God. So he's going to do this work to so many people. Those people that he's going to use that are recognized, some of them are not recognized. Even the remnants, every remnant has to go through a period of sanctification, a period of being dealt with by God in one way or another. Everybody is passing through their sanctification process in order for us all to be used by God in the ministries he has planned for us. So be blessed.